Hello and welcome, my boogie woogie and blues and rock and roll piano friends. Jonah Schwickert here again, and I'm so happy to greet you to another lesson where I'm gonna take a idea, a lick, a boogie woogie riff apart for you, step by step, teach you everything about it, and we're not just learning the riff in a copy-paste way, which we are also doing. I'm gonna also teach you some hand independence exercises to actually put both hands together, because that is always the hardest part from teaching thousands of students boogie woogie piano. The hand independence always gets you. So if that sounds like you, we're gonna tackle that as well. And I'm gonna show you advanced variations to this riff, because the way I teach riffs is not just notes that you copy paste or sheet music. No, you will actually understand what you're doing because we're learning in my shape system, okay, which will basically allow you to learn this riff and then improvise with it as a beginner. I'm gonna guide you into that as well. But first of all, grab your coffee or your tea. Let's jump into it. So guys, as you saw from the little intro demonstration, this is the shape that we are going to be working with. All right. Now, what do I mean by shape? This is a very, very important concept if you want to really master boogie woogie, or not even master, but if you want to get to a point where you're really happy with your playing fast and you also want to be able to improvise and stuff. So look, I'm not going to just teach you the notes we're playing. Look at this shape. All right. We're going to have our thumb on the A, fifth finger on the G, and then in between these notes, this is where we can vary the notes. Same with the G, right? So either it's G, E flat, G, or A, E flat, G, okay? And all the notes in between here with these fingers, so the third one, the E flat, the D, the third finger, and the second finger on the C, these can be used within that shape. Same with the A, right? And this will be very important later on when I teach you how to actually improvise with this shape. All right, so stay tuned for that. For now, we're going to start with just learning the notes of the riff. Very, very important, of course, is to know a bass line here. Now, this will be step number 0 for this lesson. So we're going to be using this bass line. Very, very common, the typical boogie woogie 8-beat bass line, right? You must know this one. This is a very, very important one. But if you can play a different bass line like the shuffle, obviously that will work too. You can use any bass line here that you can already play. If you don't know any bass line, then I'm just quickly going to show you the notes. So you got C twice, then E, back to C, up to G, back to C, up to A, and to G. All right? But this lesson won't focus on mastering this bass line. Okay, so what I recommend you to do if you don't know any bass line, you go into the description right now, sign up for the free bass line lesson that I have over there for you, and you get sent that by email, and you can do that. It's a 30-minute free course where we just take that bass line apart, which is the foundation of boogie woogie. All right, now step number 1 of the actual riff. Let's learn the notes of the riff in the copy-paste way first. So this is what I'm playing. That's on C, okay? There we go. Don't mind the rhythm right now, that will be step number 2, okay? We're gonna divide this up into 2 sections. We have this little upbeat where we're climbing up from G, A flat, and then A. That's the first section. And then we're playing E flat and G, D and G, C and G, D and G again, and we're ending on C and G, right? There you go. The G at the top just stays while we're playing notes in between here, right? This is called a double stop. This G we're double stopping each note that we're playing as the melody of this riff, right? You could also play it without the G, but this teaches you the shape better and it sounds better. Okay? That's the note. So you just want to repeat this. Try to just listen and repeat. It's a beginner principle I teach. It's so simple. It sounds simple, listen and repeat. But a lot of students overcomplicate things, right? So just try to listen to this rhythm as well and copy me. Okay? Now, on F, we can repeat the exact same, but we're going to be ending with the E flat and G instead of the C and G. That's all we're changing. Like that. And on G, we're doing the same as on C. There you go. And that's already the very basic version of this riff playing in this shape. So as you can see, there's not a lot going on. All you're doing is you're creating your melodies with these 3 keys of the shape. And this will be super important in the last step where I show you how to improvise with this and make it your own and just a bunch of variations, right? Now let's look at the rhythm the technical aspect of the actual rhythm here. So we're starting with an upbeat. So we got 3 and 4 and, right? And then this is beat 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 again and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. All right. Step 2 out of the way. Great job. Rhythm doesn't change yet here. Stays the same on C, F, and G. So the next part will be step 3, putting both hands together. All right? I'm going to show you some hand independence exercises after we try it one time, if this is hard for you to put it together already, like I promised you. All right? Because this is the most common pitfall. It actually makes most beginner students, especially if they're a little bit on the older side, think they're just so untalented and this and that. No, it's really about the right exercises. I'll show you those in a second here. But let's play our bass line onto the riff right now through the 12-bar blues. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So you can repeat that part and practice with me here. Again, if you don't know this bass line, you can learn it first, complete the lesson first here, then learn the bass line, then come back to it. And also, now we go into the next step, by the way, which is the hand independence, because that's what we're going to look at right now. If putting this together is really hard for you, check it out what you can do. The key to hand independence is to do many various movements with both hands to train your mind-muscle connection, okay? To not lose track of that bass line. So what you can do right now, for example, you can play the riff while moving your left hand. You're just moving your left hand, you're trying to keep that rhythm on the right hand. The same, right? You can move your fingers. You can then also move your hand around the piano area while you play the riff. Okay? You can wipe dust off your keyboard. You can read a book. And especially if you then do that for your left hand. So once you have a bass line in place, it can be any bass line, You can literally grab a book from here, you can start reading one page, and you try to keep steady bassline going. You can go the 12-bar blues progression, right? You can move your hand around, your right hand. Wave your fingers at you while you play your bass line, right? Then the next day, you could potentially wipe dust off your keyboard, which is a little bit harder, because then your mind is like looking for dust, so you have an extra layer of complexity, right? Then the next day, you can do another exercise where you're like sketching something small on just a block of paper with your right hand. So there's tons of these exercises that help you put both hands together, right? And that is the goal for being able to play Boogie Woogie. And like I said, if this is really hard for you to put both hands together right now, you know, if you can't play this, you're kind of just fumbling around like this. If you sign up to the free 5-day challenge, you'll get one of these micro exercises every single day by email. So it's particularly made for students like you who might have trouble putting both hands together. And whenever I teach a new student, especially if they might be a little on the older side, like over 50 or 60 years old, this is the way to get both hands working together, right? I call it the hand of God. It's just 5 minutes per day of a new exercise. And it's kind of a challenge for you, 5 days. And after those 5 days, you can learn riffs and ideas way easier on the right hand and put them together with both hands way, way, way easier. So you'll save a lot of time because you did the right exercises. So sign up to that right now. This will be your next step after learning this riff to actually start improvising with it and putting it all together, okay? Because next I'm going to show you the shape system in detail, the improvisation in detail, and you'll need a lot of hand independence for that. So those 5 days kind of take care of that, all right? So that's particularly made for you, completely free, by the way. It's just to help you out and kickstart your Boogie Woogie journey the right way. And then we can move into the last step, because that's already pretty much it. You got the bass line, the riff, 12-bar blues progression, and you got some hand independence. Right now it's just about practicing in the same way, right? Over and over until you reach this level. And then you have a new shape internalized, right? But to truly internalize the shape, we'll go for the final step now, the little bonus step, and this is the most exciting one, because look at what you can do with this riff if you think of it as a shape and you learn to improvise with it as a beginner, how I'm going to teach it to you. So, did you notice something? I wasn't changing pretty much anything about our shape. I was using the same notes that we learned and the same fingering. All I was changing is the 2 core ideas on how to improvise with Boogie Woogie riffs or shapes. We know we have these shapes. I told you in the very beginning. This shape includes usually the G octave or the A and G with the E flat in the middle, and then you vary between these keys here, right? That's our shape. Now, what happens if we play our riff, but instead of starting from here, we start the opposite way, but play the same rhythm. See what I did there? I wasn't changing any notes or anything else but the order of our positions of this shape. And now, instead of ending up here, I was ending down here again, right? Now I wasn't even going up to the E flat, but I'm keeping our same rhythm. So this is the easiest way to literally improvise if you have the hand independence for it, which again, the 5-day challenge will take care of. And beyond that, You can do more exercises. But you see what I mean? If you get into this shape thinking, this is the real way to learn Boogie Woogie. Because then you can really start cherishing your musicality. And this is the best way to learn, because you're not just becoming a better boogie player, you're becoming a great musician, because you're seeing what fits together and you're increasing your musicality. You're creating little melodies yourself. You're improvising. This is how the mastery method, my method, teaches it. It's how I also teach it in my Boogie Woogie school and in my my live master classes I do sometimes online. It's all about this shape thinking and step by step to get there. So look what we can do with this, right? Now I'm adding the second layer of improvisation within a shape, which is changing the rhythm. So I'm adding a pause, or I'm removing a pause. I'm adding an extra note onto a beat where maybe there wasn't one before. So for example, we got 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Instead of doing that, I can go 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's different. I was shifting the rhythm around as to where I'm playing my positions. So I'm leaving a lot of breathing room, as you can see, right? I'm leaving a lot of empty space in between. But I'm not changing any notes, just the rhythm and the order of our shape, right? Do you see what I mean? This is so much more effective to really master Boogie Woogie quick compared to trying to learn by sheet music. If you get into the shape thinking and you learn every riff in this way and you start improvising with it as early as late beginner stages, right? In my program, the beginner course is just getting the foundations right and building hand independence, and the advanced course is all about this, like the shape system and the entire improvisational aspect, so you become a free player as soon as possible, and you can have the hand independence to also then learn other boogie songs and other riffs and other styles, because you've done it the smart way, right? So that's what I wanted to give you here. One other thing, an advanced variation you can go for is really cool. You can add that A on the offbeats, right? So if you're playing our usual rhythm and order, we had the 1 and 2 and 3, right? And in between the 1 and 2, you can add it on the and note, the A. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, right? So that's always like, it's kind of like a tuck, 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 you know? It's like do da do da do da do da. So you can do that. You don't have to do it on every offbeat. But again, this doesn't need a lot of independence to combine all these aspects. So start with the very basic version where you're just copy pasting me from step 2 and 3 and then 4. Go through the 12-bar blues progression. If you have no idea about the 12-bar blues progression, by the way, you can also grab another free thing that I have, which is the free Boogie Woogie cheat sheet. It's also the second link in the description. And you'll have like a 12-bar blues progression sheet outlined, which explains it also a little bit. You can stick that on your piano, so you can download that for free as well below. But yeah, that's pretty much this awesome riff, this awesome new shape for you. I hope you enjoyed. And again, the next step for you would be go through those 5 days. If this is hard for you to play together in a smooth, fluid, steady way, and also to improvise with it, how I showed you, because that is the key to making amazingly faster progress than you've ever thought was possible. And you need those hand independence exercises that I have prepared for you. Every day you get one micro exercise, and I also have a bunch of other bonus stuff in there at the moment for completely free again. So sign up to that right now if you have not. You can learn the bassline there first, and then take that bassline to an independent level within 5 days. That's kind of the idea of this Hand of God challenge for you. And then just watch, come back to this lesson after those 5 days, and then you can try again putting it together and improvising a little. It will be a lot easier. You're not going to recognize your fingers if you do these exercises in the right order, which is all prepared for you. Send that to you by email. And yeah, so this is how I teach, right? This is the riff, not just copy paste, not by sheet music, no, but by shape thinking and early on set improvisation for beginner students, right? That's a big cornerstone of why my teaching is so successful for any ages and any experience level, because it's very meticulously step by step. That's also how I teach in some free master classes that I sometimes run online. If I'm doing one, I'll send you an email where I talk about these methods as well. But yeah, for now, just enjoy the 5 days. Focus on the 5 days of the Hand of God. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me tonight. Happy practicing most of all. And remember to also redo this video as often as you need to really internalize everything about this. All right? I'll see you guys in the next one. And leave a comment if you have any questions or anything. You want to share some feedback. I always love to read it. Ciao. See you in the 5-day Hand of God challenge.